I'd like to welcome to the show, to the Love and Reality podcast from Vanderpump Villa, Miss Priscilla. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me, Ricky. I'm so excited. How
I'm
are
very
you?
excited as well. You know what I mean? This is going to be a great chat. I've really enjoyed the show. It's definitely been interesting, drama filled, all the things you would expect from a show that has Vanderpump in the front of it. You know what I mean?
I think we check all the boxes.
It really does. It checked every single one of them. But before we get into the show, let's take the audiences back a little bit. Where are you from? Maybe a little bit about your upbringing and stuff like that.
So I'm originally from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. I was born and raised. I moved to America when I was 18. So in December is going to be 12 years that I've been here. Lived 1 year in San Diego, then 11 years in LA. I worked as a server since I was started as a host, then a busser, food runner, server, bottle server, bartender, done all the things, all the shenanigans in the hospitality industry. So it was kind of interesting to be doing that in front of the cameras and getting, to like meeting the casting director at my job. So it was very interesting. But I'm not just a server. I'm a TV host. I'm an actor, and I love to travel the world. And I love, as a real true Brazilian, I love the beach. So I think that was one of the hardest thing about being friends and South of France was being away from the ocean.
I mean, obviously, in your, being in LA, you're so close, but it's like I mean, I'm in Tennessee. I'm nowhere near a beach, so just hearing the beach just gets me excited. It's just a
Just the sound of the
calm.
ocean just calms you down.
You don't even have to get in. You know what I mean? You don't even have to get into like into the water to just feel the calmness of it all, right?
Yeah, it's such a serenity. I love it. That's
Yeah.
why I
So
moved to LA, because it's still like close enough, even though they say that it doesn't get cold in the winter, but it does.
they
It
lied to
does.
you. They lied to
Fake
you.
news.
All right, so obviously you touched on a little bit, but you say you got approached at your job. What was the process like getting onto Vanderpump Villa?
Actually was at work, and then I got off work, and then the casting director came at work, and they were looking for single people and looking for, people in the industry. First of all, they said it in groups. So a lot of people at my job applied. I think it was 7 of us that applied. And it was, since I applied, it was like back and forth with calls and calls and more interviews. And in 3 weeks, I was packing to go to France. And it was crazy because I was like, did anybody got it? And we couldn't say it, but I feel like my coworkers knew it because I disappeared from work. So they were like, oh, this bitch got it.
Right. They were like, oh, she got in. We could tell
She
she was in
got
here.
it.
When you get there, what's that atmosphere like to start?
I was so nervous because we were just waiting the hotel, and then we were driving. They drove us to the chateau, and first we were blindfolded, and then we got mic'd, and then it just like then we got in the van to get in, and I just remember being in the van, and I just saw Lisa, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen Lisa since the final interview. And then you see all the cameras and everything, and you're like, showtime, right? You're like, game on. So it was just, I was very nervous, but she's like, don't be nervous. She hugged me. She's like, don't be nervous. And then you walked in and you're meeting everybody. I think it was really cool because, like I love meeting new people. So it was nice before everything kind of goes down to meet everybody before the shit happens.
What's it like kind of getting used? I mean, obviously you do a little bit of acting, but like what's it used to having that camera, the mic on you like all the time?
Well, as an actor, you're not supposed to look at the camera, right? But you're there. I'm not playing a part. I'm playing, I'm being myself. So it's like you look and then you're like, okay, oh fuck, I look at the camera. And it's like, I think at the first or second days, you kind of like you, because you start seeing the cameras following you, and you're like, oh, they're here. And then you're like, so it took a second to get used to, but after I think like 3 days, you kind of forget about it. You forget it. I think for me, it was like, oh, we didn't have our phones with. And I'm like, that's going to be such a hard thing. And it wasn't. I think I forgot my phone in like 30 minutes.
Must have been nice, right? I always, whenever I talk to you guys about it, it was just like being away from the phone is hard, but like once you get away from it, it's like freedom almost, right?
It was freedom. When I got my phone back, I had anxiety of like opening my Instagram and my WhatsApp and my message. I'm like, this is overwhelming. I'm like, people don't need to know that I'm done, especially because I wrap it early, right? So I was like, they don't need to know. They still probably think I'm gone.
Right, I'm gonna keep this on Do Not Disturb for just a little bit longer.
Yeah. And it was funny because some people would see me like online on like WhatsApp or like TikToks, like, why are you online? And I'm like, hi, I'm back.
Didn't want to let anybody know, but I'm back, right?
I'm back.
So when the show starts, did you kind of expect the drama to start as fast as it did?
100% no. I thought it, the first day we're all getting to know each other, and I think it took like 30 minutes or an hour for like shit went down. I mean, we saw who was drinking a lot and the drama like kind of like started. So I mean, I got in with him, with Marciano, so I already could see that he was nervous about it. So I'm like, this is gonna be interesting. So it was kind of like mind blowing to know like everything was happening so fast. But in the end of the day, like the first day, we like had a great time too. Like, I think it was me, Emily, Grace, Andre, Gabriella were just chatting at the pool and like, playing Never Have I Ever, getting to like doing the fun stuff and getting to know like the dirty stuff about each other. So that was fun too about the first day. Even though I had the drama, we had a good time too.
Exactly. Obviously, we
And
can't.
Lisa cooked us dinner, so that was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. So one of the fascinating things of the show was the pre-check-in meetings, right? Every time I watch them, you're almost like glued to the television because they're always either filled with like drama, there's the compliments, and then there's, of course, when the compliments come the negativity. Were those as intense as they were as us watching them?
Oh yeah, I mean, as you get to know Lisa, I was very intimidated by her. She's so powerful and strong, and she's awesome. So I was just like, every time she walked in the room, and her face is like, is she happy? She mad? What's going on? And it's like, even though I knew I didn't do anything, I'm like, I don't know. Like maybe she did see me slipping a shot in the back. I don't know.
Right. It's almost because it's like almost like you're right, because you're thinking about like I didn't do anything. And then you're like, well, did I?
Like when somebody tells you I need to talk to you, think about all the bad things you did in life, and you're like, did I did anything? This, that, like you just overthink about everything you've done in your life.
Exactly. And then, of course, which is the perfect segue. In episode 4, we see that you kind of get the call to come to Lisa's office, like to talk about the comment card. What's going through your head in that moment as you're heading there?
I did had a good feeling because I really liked the group, and I think we bonded. I'm friends with that group until today. It's like I hang out with them. So I think I was like, it can't be bad. I was like, it can't be bad. But even if I was about to receive a good compliment, I was nervous. I was just nervous to talk to Lisa. I was like, hi, hi, Lisa. I hope you're happy.
I think that's one of the things that I loved about the show too is in talking to a few people in the cast is the authenticity with Lisa, right? Having those conversations and that level of care from Lisa. And those conversations you had with her, did you feel like those helped you in your process throughout the entire time?
I think it did help because it's like we don't know much. We know what is happening, what we see, and everything else that we know that is happening. It's a huge place, and it's a lot of people. Like everybody's doing something at once, and the things that happen, we hear it through like it's like a telephone, so we don't know if it's true. So she is seeing everything. She knows what is happening with everybody. So it's nice to finally hear like when you're there, it's like you're in another world. So like nothing else in this real life mattered. And so seeing her, and she's like kind of giving us a perspective and seeing things that I didn't see, it was good. Like even like my first conversation with her when she's seeing that I was hurt. Like she even says, like, you always put a brave face, and it's like I am like that. And I couldn't even hide it from her that I was hurt, that I was like going through it. And it was good. And and that's when I was just like, okay, like I'm not doing okay. Like, like I have somebody supporting me here, and she sees me, and it's just like, what can I do? And Carcassonne happened, and I was like, oh man, I don't think there's nothing I can do.
Right. And it's crazy because it's wild to me that I know there's more to meet the eye, and we'll kind of divulge into that a little bit in a minute, but when Lisa kind of rewards the team to go out to dinner, right? In my head, like you get to go to that little fancy dinner. In my head, and I know there's a lot of drama that's already built into this entire thing. To me, I thought it would be like, hey, let's go to dinner, let's relax, let's have a good time. But that is the opposite of what happened at this dinner. What did you think of the entire atmosphere throughout that entire dinner?
So that's why I was quiet. I was just like, I'm not gonna give stage to this because I know that question is towards me. I know that I knew it. I'm not stupid. But I was just like, I'm not gonna give in, but not right now. Like, because I'm in this beautiful place, in this beautiful sunset, in this like eating the best meal of my life. I'm not gonna about to fight with about mean girl shit. Like, I'm not. And I like, maybe looking back now, I'm like, I wish I said something, but I think in the reunion, I said my piece.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. I like that. Obviously, we won't talk about spoilers, but we'll talk about
I
that in a
can.
second. Right, exactly. Now for the dinner, we come back to the house and it continues to kind of trickle down. It continues to be stirring of the pot. You have Hannah and Telly who are kind of mad about some of the things that unfolded. How did you see things unfold the way that it did? Not their point of view, but your point of view.
My point of view was just like, there's when like they're in this point, you're getting to this point of mad, there's no conversation. There's no solution. It doesn't matter what I say. Even if I said sorry, which I'm not sorry about anything because I didn't do anything. But like at that point, they're like, if you fight back or argue back, it's just gonna explode. It's just gonna keep getting worse. So that's the thing. It's just like, let them yell, let them talk. And it's just like, you just stay out of it because, and that's, I think, one of the reasons I didn't say nothing in the dinner, because it's just like, how, if I really truly said right there at that dinner, how I felt, they were not gonna have empathy towards me. They're not gonna have like, oh, I'm so sorry I hurt your feelings. They're gonna have the same reaction they did. So that's like, I feel like that in my point of view, I was just like, whenever they calm down, I would be down to have a sit down conversation and we can maybe figure things out and work things out. It just didn't have time. I left. But I think at that point, I was just like, it was a nightmare that night. It was just like, it was hard to sleep, like until like they finally went to sleep. And then we woke up with that, like hearing all the comments and them keep it going, keep it going. I was like, okay, it's still not time to talk.
Yeah, because I mean, as you and to your point there of just not saying anything, we see throughout the entirety of the season the aggression and the conversations of when somebody does speak up. You know what I mean? It is getting loud. We have confrontations. You have people surrounding you, not letting you say a word. So why say something? Why ignite the switch? Why make it worse than it already was? Right?
Yeah, and it's like like I had Grace, I had Emily, but it's just like when it came down to fight with them, it was not only one-on-one. It was always two against one and stuff, and loud and passive aggressive. So it's just like there is no winning. And then it gets exhausting because it was every day and it was about everything. And every day and every day, I'm like, I don't have that on me. I'm not that person. I don't yell. I'm not like, I mean, I can't yell, but I need to get in that level. I need to matter, really, really matter to me, which it didn't, because I'm like, you guys don't matter to me. Really, you don't. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the most important part of this entire puzzle, I think what the beautiful thing about your arc was, is obviously we see in episode 7, you pull the plug on your time in the chateau, which I thought was just such a motivating. I think people should see it that way because it's like, all right, I've had enough of the shit, and I need, for my mental health, for my mental being, I need to get out of here. What kind of made you finally say, all right, I've got to get out?
Was my whole conversation with Lisa, of course, like it shows like a little bit, but like she said, she was seeing, and then the next day she was like, pray, like, no, Priscilla, you're like, come on, and then I'm like, I don't want to quit. I don't want to give up. And I didn't want to disappoint her. For everything I said, it's like I didn't want to disappoint her because I know how many people wanted to be there. I know how beautiful and big this opportunity was for anybody. And it's like, here am I. But at the same time, I got to think about myself. And I got to think, like, do I want to be here crying every day to the end and be miserable and just like hiding and just like, just counting the days to be over. No, I don't. I rather be free. So that's when I was just like, it's hard to walk away. I feel like it's like that toxic relationship that you never want to leave, but then it gets to the breaking point that you leave. Then I walked out from a toxic relationship before. So there we go. I walked out from a toxic environment.
Now you got like
And
you got
it was so
multiple.
hard to watch. Relived there. I think I just watched that episode once because I don't think I can watch it. And it's still like, but I think a lot has changed. I think I've grown a lot. I think I know like who are would be my backups if ever, if season 2 happened, if they would have me back. I don't know. But in another reality, we never know, right? So
For
I
sure.
feel like it's always a learning, and like I think I don't regret it leaving. That's all I can say. I don't regret leaving, and it made me grow and it made me, who I am today.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. That's the most important part of it is you leaving, you don't regret it, which was my next question, and then like learning from the experience. But I want to know what's something that Priscilla learned about her your entire time on the show.
That I'm awesome. Like I think, like people watching and having the feedback of everybody, and like I can see it's like I have the piece that I was like truly true to myself. I was who I am, and my friends were like, "That's my friend. That's my friend." And it's still like you can literally see my true colors. I'm funny. I'm a party girl. I'm that. I like to like make out with boys and like see that, but I'm still a very sensitive person. And it's like Lisa says, like she put a brave face, but I have a big heart. And it's just, like some people don't get to see that are not close to me. And that's really hard to, like that's the way that I'm showing them on TV.
Yeah,
My
for
kind
sure.
of like sensitive, more side of me.
For sure. What's it been like watching it back, even from the early stages to now, and kind of maybe what's the reception around you?
I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you, until the 3 episodes came out, I was having so much anxiety. And not because I was like, I don't think I should be worried about anything, but you never know. You never know. And it's like so I after the 3 episodes came out, I feel like I gave birth. I was like, oh, I'm happy. Like my friends were happy. And like my family was like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. And I think that's the best, like I try now I read it, but I think the first weeks I was not reading comments or, like DMs or anything. I feel like this week I've been reading and trying to respond. But just what had mattered for me was like my family and friends, not be disappointed on me. I was like, I just have the fear disappointing the loved ones, and especially because I'm not being judged by a character that I'm playing. I'm being judged by my character. So it's another way to be judged.
Without diving into spoilers, obviously we don't want any spoilers. What can viewers expect from the reunion?
Whatever I didn't say at the dinner, I did say at the reunion.
We love
That's
that.
the ego has landed. It's fun. It was fun. I think it was a long day, but I think everybody made their peace, said their piece. I felt good about it. I felt relief after.
I think that's the important thing because in your entire process, you didn't really get to say maybe what you wanted to. You kind of walked away on your terms, which is very pivotal. But then obviously, I think you get to close that chapter. Is that what it felt like you were closing the chapter on that part of your life with that?
Yeah, I feel like yeah, even though like even the reunion was still have like some stuff happening, but I think so far so good. Like
For sure.
you accept drama whenever you want, and it's just like now I know how to block like this is okay, this is not, and especially because a reunion happened, it's like we don't need to be friends.
For sure. Now, obviously, you kind of
Everybody, of
hit.
course, I have some friends.
Yeah, that's a question. Who are some of the people that you are still close to from the show?
Grace and Caroline for sure. I talk to them like most of the days. Gabriella too, we're very close. And Andre, Chef Tony, because lives in LA too. Caroline moved to LA too, so that's easier. I got to meet Nikki, so she's pretty cool too. I mean, we met like 3 times in real life. And yeah, these are the people I'm closest.
I feel like is Andre as big of a teddy bear as he seems on the screen? Like he just seems like a kind of a chill guy. Like he
He
does.
is. I love him. He's so funny. He just like his like face expressions are everything to me and his humor. He's so funny. He's a great guy.
You've kind of hinted around to it, and we'll put you on the spot. If we do get a second season of Vanderpump Villa, would you want to go back?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Why not?
Of course, there's world of
And I would
reality.
try not to leave. I for sure would not leave this time. I'm telling you.
Is there any other reality TV shows that you would go on?
Uh, Definitely Big Brother Brazil in Brazil because it's like that's the reality show I watched my entire life. I don't know if I would do the one in America. Dancing with the Stars because I love to dance. Maybe The Bachelor. I don't know. I never thought about dating show, but we went to me, Caroline, and Chef Tony. We went to the finale of The Bachelor, and I was like, I want to go to The Bachelor just to be a bachelorette, so I have 32 mans fighting for me. That would be great. That's a dream.
There we go. Let's make it happen. Let's put Priscilla on The Bachelorette.
I would not disappoint on that.
What's something that we didn't learn about Priscilla on the show that might surprise people?
That's a hard one. That you didn't know. I'm a hard worker. That's already shown. I don't know. I feel like I maybe like more of like I'm a fun person and I'm a good friend and I feel like, like it's very I think I'm a very loyal person. So it's like I'm a girls and I'm loyal to my friends. So it's like don't do my friends dirty. Don't do me dirty because that's like I would be sweet. I would like be relevant. If it's something that is not very important, I think I can let it go. But if you try to, stop like talk shit or try to like be shady or anything, that's like a no for me. So I think I'm a very loyal friend. I think my friendships are very I have a really great bond.
All right, final question. What is next for Priscilla?
Right now I'm working on coming back with my YouTube channel, which is called Keep It Real. I'm talking more about my life and behind the scenes of the process of the show. And it's kind of like continue what happened and how's life going. Traveling a lot, trying to focus more on my hosting gigs and stuff like that. I really still serving, but I want to kind of move on out of that.
For sure. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Ricky.